Congratulations. Thank you, sir. How you doing? Congratulations. Hey, how are you? Good.
How are you? Yep, I know. Don't feel bad. When you get five, when you get
Hey, brother, how are you? How you doing? Things going? Good. I appreciate it. Thank you. Continue experience. Always. Thank you, brother. I know that. And thank you for what you're doing. It's making it successful. And you guys just really take You know what, Dr.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, it is right. There you go. Sorry.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the invocation from Deacon Pete Shoemaker. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. Bow your heads, please. Gracious Father of the universe, there are times, Lord, where you humble us, where you let us know that we don't know everything, where you let us know that maybe we're not trying hard enough. And at times, Lord, we blame ourselves, when in reality, we should bow our heads before you and ask that you would bless us with knowledge, wisdom, and guidance to continue to make Gloucester Township a better place. Heavenly Father, we are thankful for the men and women who serve in every capacity, whether it be official and police force, firefighting, first responders, police chaplains, or whether it's on this council or the mayor's office, or the people that just serve in every aspect of the community together to make our community a better place to raise our family. We are grateful, Lord, that you have blessed us and that you continue to bless us in body, mind, and spirit. We thank you, Lord, for the officers that will be inducted today. We're grateful that you will continue to bless them in their labor and on their path in police work. Continue to guide and direct them, and thank you for their dedication and service. All this we ask in the name of our Lord, and we all say, amen.
Thank you. This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the schedule of meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using an electronic amplifying and recording device, and in order to obtain an audible and clear record, we request that all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly into the microphone. The recording device is to be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's office for the preparation of the minutes and shall be the official record of the Township Council meetings. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison?
Present.
Mr. Owens?
Present.
Mrs. Stubbs?
She's out tonight.
Mrs. Winters?
She had a family emergency.
Mr. Mignone?
Here.
Mrs. Strato?
Here,
Mr. Mercado?
he will be late.
Mr. Burley?
Present.
Mr. Cardis?
Here.
Mr. Lechner?
Here.
Chief Earl?
Here.
Mr. Chadwell?
Thank you. We will now have our presentation swearing in of officers. Chief, would you like to come forward? Thank you.
Good evening, Council. Thank you very much. And Mayor, if you could join me, and Council Vice President Toronto, Deputy Chief Harkins as well. Welcome tonight. Thank you for the Gloucester Township police officers joining us, of course, and some special recognition tonight. Retired Gloucester Township Police John Stolzheimer is in the audience tonight, so thank you for being here, Chief, and retired Deputy Chief. And we'll mention him a little bit later as well. So thank you, all of you, for being here. A special night so much. And with that, could we have Lieutenant Capana and her family please come forward? Lieutenant Capana, you began your career on March 30th, 1998. You served in the Patrol Bureau as a field training officer and also as a crisis negotiator, where you are now the commander of the Crisis Negotiations Unit. You were assigned to the Juvenile Family Services Bureau as a school resource officer in 2013. Promoted to sergeant October 2014. You were assigned as a detective sergeant in the Juvenile and Family Services Bureau as the deputy bureau commander in 2016. You were promoted to lieutenant September 1st, 2019. You have earned numerous police commendations, including 2 outstanding police work letters, 3 distinguished unit citations, 1 police service citation, and numerous letters of thanks from citizens. One involving a medical assist where a woman detailed her conversation with you and said that you made her feel really special, that she just loves you and the officers that were there. You were nominated for Police Officer of the Year in both 2013 and 2015. Also nominated for Supervisor of the Year in 2016 and 2017, where in your nomination letter it was written, Sergeant Capana takes pride in everything she does and is very conscientious about her work. She is truly a great ambassador for the Gloucester Township Police Department. You were supported here by your significant other, Mike Benazzi, retired Gloucester Township Police Officer, her son Avery, her mother Donna, her father, retired Deputy Chief of Gloucester Township, Nort Davis, who for the Gloucester Township Police Department. Mayor, Council Vice President Toronto, it is my honor to request that Sergeant Capana be officially sworn in as the Lieutenant of the Gloucester Township Police Department.
If you could please raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state under the authority of the people. I further solemnly swear that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all of my responsibilities as lieutenant in the Gloucester Township Police Department to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Sergeant Schultz and his family, please come forward. We can wait. Let's make sure your wife's here. We have to wait. Sergeant Schultz, prior to your service with the Gloucester Township Police Department, you served in the United States Marine Corps, May 2005 to May 2011. Your service included a year-long deployment to Iraq from 2006 through 2007, earning several awards, including an Armed Forces Reserve Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal. You were also employed as a security officer for Camden County College from 2006 through 2010. You also served as a SEPTA police officer in Philadelphia from 2010 until being hired by the Gloucester Township Police Department on February 8, 2012. You were assigned in the Patrol Bureau as a field training officer and backup shift investigator. You were also appointed as a designated marksman observer for the Special Response Team in 2016. You began serving as a school resource officer in the Juvenile and Family Services Bureau in 2017. You have earned numerous awards and commendations, including 5 Outstanding Police Work Letters, 1 Merit Award, where you came upon a suspicious person and discovered they had a ski mask and a shotgun hidden under their clothing. You've also earned 3 Distinguished Unit Citations and 1 Life-Saving Award, where you performed CPR on a person and saved their life. And also an Outstanding and Distinguished Service Award from Mothers Against Drunk Driving for your commitment against drunk drivers. You're supported here by your family, your wife Hillary, your sons Jake and William, your mother Andrea, and your father Leo. Council Vice President Trotto, Mayor, it is my honor to request that Officer Schultz be officially sworn in as a Sergeant of the Gloucester Township Police Department.
If you can please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Kevin Schultz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith
and that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I further solemnly swear
I further solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all of my responsibilities
all of my responsibilities
as Sergeant
as Sergeant
in the Gloucester Township Police Department.
in the Gloucester Township Police Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Well, let me first offer my congratulations, Sergeant and Lieutenant. Promotions very, very well deserved. And thank you for your dedication to this department, the men and women of this department, and the citizens of Gloucester Township. And certainly we're here today, and it's really a reflection on who you are and the professionalism that you invoke. And so I thank you, or I congratulate you, and I thank you for your service. I want to thank your families as well, because without them, you know, it certainly makes life easier with them. And Sergeant, I can remember those days, so don't worry about it. I cherish them actually because they go by so fast. But I can remember that. But I thank your families for the support that you receive from them. It is so very, very important, and I thank you. And Deputy Chief, welcome here, Chief. Thanks for coming back. And again, congratulations. Now today, is the last swearing in under Chief Earl. And so I want to unless you're coming in tomorrow to ask for more officers by the end of the month, but it's the last swearing in. And I think, Chief, we were talking about it today. I think we've, since you became chief and I became mayor, have sworn in over 40 officers, over 40 new officers to the Gloucester Township Police Department. That's why I know that oath, because I've done it many, many times. But I again, thank you for your service to our community, and I know we have some events coming up, and I'll save my remarks for. But thank you for your 33 years of service to the Gloucester Township Police Department. Thanks for coming out here today, and again, congratulations on your promotions. Thank you.
We will take a 5-minute recess. Thank you.
Oh no, it's not hunting season. Oh, that's 1420. You saw? I didn't count the points. The farmer told me. But there's 14 points. Oh yeah. It's just a camera. I enjoy it. You still go with me?
Does go by fast.
42 years. You're going to get things going. He's doing his own. You got that one. Nice to see you. How's your family?
Doing well. Good. Yours? Hanging in there? Yeah. I know. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. How you doing? Good. Listen,
Good, it's good to see you.
Obviously, I'm gonna have you. I'm trying to
Okay.
so if you can help me push him along, I'm gonna
Sure I will.
And I know he's up for it, but that's the
I have no idea. Bobby was asking if Bobby stayed close.
I'm gonna check the address you have. And listen, I don't know his condition or anything like that, but I'm gonna try and if he's up to it, get us off. But I think
Oh, okay.
but I'm trying to get as many.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
Yeah.
neat at least to get some
Oh, I
pictures
see.
and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's our history.
Yep.
So if you happen to run into Andy or to push it along too,
Yeah.
anything else you think of, let me know.
problem.
But,
Absolutely.
it'll be nice.
I will call.
Yeah. I really want. And I've always been great. I never heard of him. He's come back. Really trying to tour.
Oh.
Time and he sent me a nice card. Yeah.
He thinks you're great.
Yeah.
Because he always came in here and he always thought people were ignoring him. And I just said, he's been away so long. He doesn't want to around here.
So,
Yeah, but he did. He really did.
Good. Mayor, thank you. Yeah. If Johnny's coming, great.
Oh, yeah, he is.
He's really coming back. He really is. And it's really great. I'm so glad where he is.
Okay.
Chief, congratulations. That's better than to see your kids get up there and do this stuff.
Yeah.
You trained us up. Jimmy, I'm telling you, it's amazing. So, all right. If you need anything,
I know.
I'm glad to have all
Thanks.
my tools. That's great. It's going to be great to have. Real soon again.
Yeah, great. Looking forward to it.
All right, take care.
Hi, I'm Heather. So I'm not sure if the time is requesting an extra.
Oh, okay,
She
great.
said, I'm like, he has no clue who I am, but I'm gonna be
Oh, yeah,
careful.
no, I'm coming.
I'm Heather, by the way.
I'll see you, Ken. See you in a little bit.
I thought you did it.
That's good.
Somebody was calling me. There's another one I remember emailing.
Resources used, but with the
I haven't seen
added
it.
threat of other players, stronger gear and enchanted weapons, things can become really troublesome. It doesn't look like you're coping very well out here on your own, so
But not the
that base
landscape.
isn't hidden very well, and so other more pro players are going to be able to spot it right away, even with all the special sticky pistons you worked so hard to get. It just sticks out like a sore thumb after all these years. Today, we're going to have to create some.
You do that, Ken. Mess How's it Let's see what he has today. Oh, I like that. That's cool. I like that. I've got skulls. Yeah, I like mine. I think they're definitely cheaper. I think, well, he's coming back. Maybe it's all talking when they're ready. I think we're good.
We're gonna get started. Could I have roll call, please?
Mr. Hutchison? Mr. Owens?
Present.
Mr. Mignon?
Here.
Here. We now have the accepting of the minutes for executive session September 4th, 2019. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Roll call, or do I go right to the regular?
Yes, Mr. Roll call.
Okay. Roll call?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes to September 4, executive session, and September 9th, regular session.
We didn't get that far yet. Hold on.
Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Mr. Mignon?
Yes.
Mrs. Strata?
Yes. Regular session, September 9th, 2019, and September 23rd, 2019. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Roll call?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes to the 9th, and I'll stay on the 23rd.
Mr. Owens?
Yes. So vote.
Mr. Mignon?
Yes to both.
Mrs. Strata?
Yes to September 9th and abstain from the 23rd. Bid report, Redwood Street culvert replacement. Do I have a motion to accept the bid report?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Mr. Owens?
Yes.
Mr. Mignon?
Yes.
Mrs. Strata?
Yes. We will now have our first public portion. This is for agenda items only. Pete?
Good evening, Pete Heinball, Morningstar Court. Agenda question, first one is related to Resolution 268, which is the bids for the broker of record health. I did, in advance of this meeting, submit a question on this to Mr. Cardis, and he replied, so I have most of my questions answered to this. But I do have a question, when does the existing contract end, and when does the new one start?
Tom, can you,
October 31st, it ends. The new one begins November 1st.
Isn't this behind schedule to just be submitting a bid? I mean, we're in the middle of October. Isn't that a little behind schedule? I saw a previous 3 years ago. We put it out for this resolution. It's on today's was in the August month, and we accepted a bid in September.
I probably would have liked to put it out a little earlier. I didn't catch it, to be honest with you. We gave a period of, I believe it was posted on the 1st, and they're not due back until the 22nd. So it's unusual that we would have 22 days for anybody to review it and to submit it.
I'm sorry, the request for bids has already been
Correct.
posted? Oh, this resolution is after the fact.
This is a confirmed.
Right.
Look, it's confirmed.
Okay.
It's not authorized, it's confirmed.
Okay. Also, another question I submitted to Mr. Cardis ahead of time and got most of my answers. On the bill list, we made a payment to Blue Sky Power for $20,000 some odd dollars. And this is for, I guess, consulting work. I haven't seen the invoice. I got a response on the bill, but haven't seen an invoice. I guess it's consulting work or project work related to the GEMS solar effort, and also related to the what's being called the Black Horse Pike School District Phase 2 solar project. That's correct. What role do they play in those efforts? I mean, they're not energy experts, are they?
Yes, absolutely they are. They put these projects together. They've been working on GEMS for a number of years now. We could not get anywhere with the prior administration and the DEP, but since there was a change up there, they have been accommodating, and they just received, as you saw in that email, an approval on September 9th. There was a tremendous amount of work that went into this.
Okay.
And this, as you can see, will generate lease payments to the township of roughly $1 million.
For the GEMS, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. On the Black Horse Pike solar side of it, why is the township managing projects and paying bills on behalf of panels going up on schools under the school district?
Why would they not? It's one big tax bill. I mean, it's we try to help the schools.
So we're doing it to help the schools?
Absolutely. And this will save, as projected, $1,250,000 in energy costs over a period of time. Now, that last installation that we also worked on with them, I believe
Phase 1
anywhere from $300,000 to $500,000 a year in electric costs.
This is with the Black Horse Pike School District.
Correct.
Is that just a calculation that was done on day one of the original project, or is this an ongoing calculation?
There was an audit done on that, and there were some hard numbers on that. I don't have those for you now,
Right.
but I can probably get those for you.
Okay. Do you have similar hard numbers for the Gloucester Township School District? The solar project.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, remember, we initially did some of the Black Horse Pike region. We did the area near Triton. We did Timber Creek. That layout that was part of the prior project. This one is, I believe, Timber Creek and Highland.
Yeah. But you have calculated from these PPA agreements, purchase price agreements with the solar company and between the solar company and the school districts. You have calculated savings
Well,
on
they
that.
have to produce savings because they have to meet the demand requirements from the Board of Public Utilities. So they have to be approved by the BPU. So in this case, yes, it's definitively saving the money that it needs to qualify.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ray?
Good evening, Council. Ray Polidor from the Historic Village of Ariel. In following up to Mr. Heimball's question regarding the blue sky bills, and if I heard you correctly from the back, you said there was issues with the previous administration with GEMS.
Yes.
What was those issues?
We needed the DEP approval because, as you may already know, there was a decree, and Dave, you might have to help me with this, but there was a judge-ordered decree on that site when it was a Superfund site. The township owned the site and maintained the site, and at some point in time, it was scheduled that the DEP would take over the site. They did, in fact, do that. I believe that was about 4 or 5 years ago.
Correct.
And after they had taken over the site is when we began to look at it for options to try to save some money and make some money for the township. Solar made sense. We knew it had been done in other areas. So we began that process of the application before the DEP, but it fell on deaf ears.
Okay, because my recollection of that time period probably a little bit better than yours. I don't remember the administration having a problem. I remember this council shutting it down. First, the issues were concerns of piercing the cap. And when that fell through, and that was answered by Burkhart from Washington, who had responded and was willing to pay with investors that would cost the township zero. And if I remember correctly, the township would receive a slice of the pie from the SREC, which was extremely high at the time. I don't remember it being administration, I remember it being this body. I also remember,
That's not accurate.
well, no, I know that it's accurate because the other issue that this council brought forth was the endangered swamp pink.
Right.
And that was the second issue that shut that down. My question is not accusatory. What?
It sounds accusatory.
Well, it may, but you didn't bring up the swamp pink, and I needed to. So what is different with this new overlook of the solar that the endangered swamp pink is not still going to be an issue?
As I understand it, the areas that the solar panels will be installed in are approved by the DEP. They're not on the actual top of the landfill, so there's not an issue with piercing the landfill. And they're not in any of the areas where the swamp pink are.
If it's not on the top, and my recollection was the swamp pink was down below, what areas is swamp pink not that these?
You'll have to contact the DEP on that.
Okay. And on resolution 268, with the broker of record, have we had the same broker of record for the past few years?
We have.
And who was that broker of record?
Connor Strong Buffalo.
Was Connor Strong ever a contributor to any Gloucester Township political PACs or EFOs that we know of?
No idea.
Is that something that anyone on council knows? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Paul, go ahead, Dan.
Ask one question to Paul. The administration aspect of that last response you gave, are you talking about the gubernatorial, the state?
Oh, yeah, the
Administration,
state.
not local administration.
No, once we had a plan that was approved and it appeared that made sense, and we presented it to the DEP, we could not get the approval. And that went on for about a year and a half, yes.
Good evening, Council. Paul Krug, Blackwood Estates. Just wanted to ask for the takeaway of council for Resolution 273, which is the acceptance of the 2018 audit of the Township of Gloucester. I'm assuming that's the budgetary or financial audit?
It is, it's for the calendar year 2018. I'm not sure what the takeaway is, but I can tell you it is I would consider it a clean audit. It has no comments or recommendations. It will be posted on the township website tomorrow. You'll be able to see it up there.
Were there any takeaways by council members as far as opportunities to save the citizens of Gloucester Township from additional tax levies moving forward after your review?
Anybody have anything? It's an audit.
Well, typically you take a pretty good look, detailed look at an audit to have takeaways. What I took away, and it was already posted, so I took a look at it, was on page 32 under note 3 in reference to property taxes. What was interesting was between 2015 and 2016, there was about a $10 million increase in tax levy for the citizens of Gloucester Township, which would be about 6.5%. The average inflation rate for those 2 years, 2015 and 2016, was 0.7. So we're talking about a pretty substantial increase above and beyond the inflation rate. And also the surplus utilized from 2015 into 2016 was $3.175 million, which would have been a 2% increase, easily covering the inflation rate of 0.7 for the average of those 2 years. So that's just an example of a takeaway I took from reviewing the audit.
Well, the tax levy you speak of is a combined tax levy of all the elements of the tax bill. The county, the schools, the local school, and the regional school represent about 53% of the bill. The county represents about 24% of the bill. We represent about 26% of the bill, and the rest is the fire districts. So it's not just this area that you're talking about when you talk about the increase in the tax levy. And as far as the surplus balances, we're going to use what we can and what's available to us, and that goes directly to reduce the amount to be raised by taxation. So we're using that for property tax relief.
So is there coordination between this council and some of the other departments that you mentioned? Because you just stated earlier that the council and this body wants to help the school district, and I assume it's vice versa. So likely there is savings, and potentially this audit could give us direction in where that savings is.
Yes, we are communicating, and when there are opportunities for savings, we do look at it. We share some of the equipment we have because we can obviously do more than the schools can in terms of paving, possibly plowing, things that we can do for them. We have shared services with them for gasoline. We're under a cooperative purchasing agreement for gasoline. We're looking at possibly doing something with health benefits. There are a lot of things that we've done and that we're looking at to cut costs.
I appreciate that, and I asked council to potentially hold off on the resolution until council members have had an opportunity to thoroughly review the audit and potentially have some takeaways from it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sam?
Evening, Council. Sam Sweet from Ariel. You said administration, Mr. Hutchinson asked administration, you said it above, like at the state level administration, or the administration being the mayor's office?
I was speaking of the DEP.
Okay, so the DEP shot it down, council didn't vote, did council ever have a vote on it back then in '09?
Council would not have voted on it because it was not approved by the DEP.
So there was no vote to be had.
Yeah, I would suggest that you review if Pete has it, because I see you sitting next to Pete. If he has the email that I shared with him today. It describes what exactly took place. And in there, it does show that in an in-depth submission that was completed on September 9th, and Blue Sky personnel worked with multiple weekends to get this done, as ACO was just signed this prior week. So it was just executed within the last couple of weeks.
But I'm asking back to '09. Is what,
We were getting nothing back from the DEP.
so council never voted on it back in '09 to strike it down?
They may have voted on it to allow Blue Sky to make the application. I don't know. Mr. Carter would have to research that. It's possible there was a resolution or something.
I don't recall council at that time voting it down because it was really a state regulation. We're talking about when they held up the project for.
But we did select some CARPA.
Correct.
So that was the process of an RFQ.
Correct.
So we did that.
Okay, I'm just asking because, I mean, I heard the rumors about Gems landfill getting solar panels, never happened. And then I heard that it was struck down, and the rumor was that council struck it down, the mayor wanted it. I wasn't involved in then, so I'm just asking for clarification of that.
I understand from the administration standpoint is the council was always on board with this project. And it was really up to the administration to run with the ball, and that's what we did. And we did that in conjunction with Blue Sky Power, our energy consultant. It's only, again, recently, within the last year, with DEP that we've received a favorable nod on this project.
Okay, so the problem came from the DEP back in '09, not council, is that correct? Okay. Okay, thank you. With regards to Blue Sky, again, I wasn't involved back then, but Blue Sky, there was a problem with their bills, that they didn't provide enough detail?
I don't know. There may have been a problem in the past. I don't know.
It was in the past. In the past. There was apparently a state auditor had said there wasn't enough detail in the bills and the bills shouldn't have been paid from Blue Sky. So.
No, I don't think it was an auditor. I think it was somebody from the audience who opened or received copies of the bills and questioned the detail of the bills.
Again, I'm just going from, rumors and stuff, so.
Election also, I believe
Okay.
it came from the audience to the council.
So Blue Sky's bills were fine?
Now they are, yeah.
Now they are? What about back then?
There may have been a problem back then. There wasn't enough detail, and that's when we went to Blue Sky and obtained more detail.
And we're okay with working with a company that didn't do proper billing, but they're doing it now?
I don't think it was improper. It just preferably it should have had more detail with regard to the hours and the rates, and so.
And
I've been in almost every meeting with them. I know that they're there. We were meeting weekly. Now we meet bi-weekly.
And those bills that they're sending out to you now, they have enough detail on them?
They do.
Would I have to Oprah them, or can I get them from you? Not, obviously not today.
What's that?
Oprah them? All right, and who owns Blue Sky?
I don't know if it's owned by. I don't know. I deal with Ben Park. I don't know if that's who, if he owns it or if it's owned by multiple individuals.
Do we know who owns it, Mr. Carlomer?
My communication is always through Ben.
Through Ben.
Who the owners are, the company.
And that doesn't bother council that we're doing business and we're writing substantial bills to this company. Doesn't bother you guys that we don't know who the owners are?
I think at least my communications are always professional. They always have the answers. If they don't, they always get back to me.
So the answer is you don't know who the owners are, but that doesn't bother you?
I assume it's Ben Park. I'm assuming Ben Park is the owner.
Okay, but we don't know. I mean, assumptions.
You know what? It could be.
Yeah, could we move along? I think we've asked.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
I'm sorry.
So let me be clear on something. Are you suggesting that we did not know when we entered into the contractual relationship with this company?
I'm not.
You're asking me now today, as I'm sitting here, who owns the SP, and you expect me to recall that. Is that what you're asking for? Or are you asking, can we obtain that information, Sam?
Both, actually.
Okay, guess what? I can't recite the owners of every company that we contract with. And for you to expect us to be able to do that is unrealistic. Okay?
I expect my elected officials to know when we're writing large checks to a company. All right,
I think that's an unfair assessment. When we enter into a contract, yes, do you do your due diligence to obtain information? But to ask me to recall something out of nowhere, to retain all of that information is impossible. If you'd like, we'll get you the owner's name of Blue Sky for the next meeting.
yes, I would
Is
like
that
that.
all that you have for tonight, for right now?
For right now, yes.
Thank you.
Comment, so you know, we do our PRQs in December for the beginning of the year, and at our reorganization, we appoint companies, various companies, I would say it's close to 25, maybe 26 different PRQs coming in. I reviewed those with Mr. Carlemere and with Mrs. Aaron, the CFO, and we make recommendations based on those specifications, those proposals that we received. And in there, that it would have listed who the owner of the company was, and any other pertinent information like what other towns they were working for, what projects they completed, things of that nature. And then I write up a report based on our findings together and pass that on to council with a recommendation for awards.
All right, if you could get me those
I would
names,
expect them to remember what was in that.
if you could get me the names, that'd be great.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the first public portion. Resolution of consent agenda. Any council person wishing to remove or make any changes? If not, do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Mignano?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes.
Resolution 273, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Gloucester accepting the 2018 audit of the Township of Gloucester.
Do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
Mr. Mignano?
Yes.
Mrs. Strato?
Yes. We have no GTE Gov access questions this evening, so we will now open the second public portion. Pete?
Pete Heimbaugh, Morningstar Court. I do have, from the public record, I do have an answer to a question that was left unanswered earlier. The 2015 Mercado Trado Mignon Stubbs campaign accepted a donation from Connor Strong Buckaloo that lasted in 2015. And it was signed by the four of you, so it's in public record, so that's happened. And what's really strange about that particular donation is that the election occurred in November 2015. The Connor Strong donation wasn't made till a year later in 2016. So it was after the fact. Your campaign fund was in debt. And Connor Strong decided after the election to donate money to you and your campaign. And you all signed all these. This is all public record with your signatures on it.
Is that unlawful? Was that a campaign violation?
It's legal to award contracts to someone who gives a donation as long as under a certain amount. It's illegal to exchange contracts for donations, pay to play. No, are we a pay to play town?
Are you suggesting there was something illegal?
It's very coincidental,
Are you suggesting?
and it happened after the fact. And I'm suspicious.
But are you suggesting it's illegal?
I'm suspicious. Are you exchanging contracts for donations? What's
Mr. Curtis, was this Connor Strong? That was for an RFQ, correct?
RFQ, yeah.
So it was a public bid that anyone.
Well, it's a coincidence. Yeah, it's a crazy coincidence and
Sure.
suspicious.
So they're the ones that made the RFQ.
And we also brought up Blue Sky Power. They've given donations over the years.
Next,
That's suspicious. And
pay attention.
That's crazy and suspicious. I mean, I'm not, shouldn't I be suspicious? Is this, and Mr. Cardis mentioned the RFQ process that happens in December that'll contracts be awarded in January. Everyone on that list, virtually, donates to this group. That is more crazy coincidence. Shouldn't I be suspicious? Shouldn't I?
Well, that's a decision you make. It's an open process.
So, but you're not exchanging donations for contracts.
No.
It's just crazy coincidence. Right down the line, everyone.
We've answered the question. Can you move on, please?
It's just a crazy coincidence. Is that
It's
the
a
answer?
crazy coincidence,
Yes.
and you're suggesting that we're
I'm suspicious.
taking money in exchange for
I'm
contracts.
suspicious of that.
We've answered no, so I think. we-
What other explanation could there be? Here's a new question. What other explanation would there be?
They make their decision on who.
You accept it year after year after year. It didn't just happen once. Yes, and you award those contracts to them year after year after year.
It's an open process. Can we
It's-
please?
But there's nothing to be suspicious about as a resident.
We know.
Wow.
If you feel differently, you're entitled to your
I think-
opinion, but it's
Surprised
okay.
how many other bids we received.
And on which one?
So it's
Let's
just,
go with the broker for
I
record.
don't know. The last time we did it was 3 years ago. I mean, I will tell you, all the interactions I've had with Connor Strong has been extremely professional, and they.
obviously I'm talking well above and beyond Connor
They're
Strong.
doing something right because they're in almost every other municipality around us as a broker.
In Camden County, what do you mean, Camden County
They
municipalities?
also oversee the HIP fund, which we are not part of. So they have a depth of.
Wow, it's just coincidence. Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Can we doing something unlawful? You're throwing this word suspicious.
Yeah.
Okay. Are they
What else
doing
would you go,
anything
did you ever hear,
unlawful?
Did you ever hear Occam's razor?
Are they doing?
Did you ever, you know the phrase Occam's razor?
Pete,
The
Are
most,
they doing anything illegal?
if they're changing contracts for donations, yes.
Don't throw the word if.
Well,
You're
what,
making accusations. Do
yeah.
you have anything to support any facts?
here, I have
Nothing. Nothing, Pete. You
I have
nothing.
a mountain
You have
stack.
three windows. That's all you.
No,
do.
circumstantial evidence up to the ceiling.
You know something, Pete? Unless you got facts to support.
I do. Everything's on public record. All these contracts are public record. All these donations are public record. Year after year, a couple $1 million worth. Innuendo? I'm talking about dollars. I'm not going back and forth.
You're the one going back and forth. You keep saying it, but yet.
Well, you know what I'm saying, and I know what you're trying to say back to me. And it's, do you ever hear the term Occam's razor? The simplest explanation is usually the right one. No, it's not always, but usually. What's the simplest explanation?
We did. We said no, and you still.
No, the simplest explanation for explaining year after, I want an explanation for these donations. Year after year after year after year. You accept, you act like you're just an innocent acceptor.
You don't want to hear anything, so you know what? Just say your piece. That's fine.
Thank you.
That's just crazy coincidence. That's too much of a crazy coincidence.
Okay. Have a nice night.
Right?
Good evening again, Councilor Ray Poldo from Ariel. First question, Blue Sky Power. When we first began to do business with them, did the administration and this council check to see how much experience they had before we first did business with them?
I did when I reviewed the RFPs.
Okay. And how much experience at that time do you remember them having the first time we negotiated doing business with them?
You're taking me back to 2010 or 2011. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
This is a gotcha moment, Pete. Right.
Why do you feel like I got you?
It's the type of questions we're asking. How can you ask Tom if you remember something from 2010?
Let me ask you a question. If you're dealing with a business that is a solar business and you're looking to do some large quantity of work or look for them to be our solar consultant for the future, you would like to know how much experience they have at that.
Well, why don't you just simply tell him what you think you know right now?
It's not a matter of what I know. I'm not the local government. You are, and that's something that I'm asking, did you know?
Then why didn't you send them an email ahead of time?
Because the
Give them
question-
an opportunity to look at
You know, one of the best parts about being here at the meeting and not watching it on the internet that goes in and out is that a question may arise while you're at the meeting and you have the opportunity to present it. If you think I had a gotcha moment, obviously something went off in your mind. They didn't have very much experience, if any at
it.
all.
So you do know.
So did you. So do you, and so did all of you that were on council at that time.
Question you have the answer to. Why don't
You're asking a question, you have the answer right in front of you. We don't have that information.
Many times I come up here as Tom knows, and Orlando knows, and Dan knows. Of course I have the answers to some of the questions. I'm not even a council person. Why don't
You
you?
had the time to, you knew what your question was gonna be. You had the time to look up an answer and review it. We're sitting here
That's
with
not the main-
nothing in front of us.
That's not the main gist of my questions. I just simply wanted to know, for a company that's doing so well with us,
Why didn't you raise
what
this-
experience did they have when they first did business with
Why
us?
didn't you raise
Questions.
this when you were here at the meeting back in 2010, 2011? Because you've been here forever. You've been here all the
If
time.
you remember correctly, the presentation was made for the solar project at the time. A company from Washington DC came up here, Burkhart. It was going to cost the township $0, and we would have had some money coming in, but we spoke of that
The
already.
guy that had a suitcase full of money, that was gonna give us a couple $1 million.
It was a matter of it not costing the taxpayers to put a solar program at the GEMS landfill.
It was extremely.
And it came down to Swamp Pink. And Mr. Colomier is correct. It never got before the council because of the discussions that we all had on that. It came down to Swamp Pink, not the DEP. It never went that far. Okay. Secondly, 1 year ago today, I had asked council, you have a standing curfew 2 days before Halloween at 7 p.m. You have the night before Halloween at 7 p.m. and you have the curfew on Halloween at 8 p.m. I don't know how many remember this conversation, but today's youth really does not participate much in mischief night because there's not an app for it and most of the kids are addicted to this. At that time, I asked council to consider trusting the youth of our township a little more than you do and expanding or doing away with the curfew for 2 nights before and having something of a more reasonable curfew on the night before Halloween, which was at the time and still known as Mischief Night. I had asked for council to consider that, and you've had a year to consider that. Now is about the time you'll be putting out that Halloween curfew notice throughout announcements and the patch. In the year that we have spoken on this, what have you come up with?
I don't remember you asking that question. You may have, I just don't remember. So you're saying on mischief night, relaxing the curfew.
Halloween is on the 31st. On the 29th, you have in place a 7 p.m. curfew. You have for the last few years. And the 30th, you have a 7 p.m. curfew. Some of these kids that do extracurricular activities, and I can certainly tell you the band at Timber Creek is playing well past 7 p.m. And these are good kids. I don't think they need to be told that they need to be in at 7 o'clock.
You don't
2
think
nights.
I don't think it's an issue to even to discuss the curfew again. I have no problem with it being 7 p.m.
Last year it was 7 p.m. on the 29th, 7 p.m. on the 30th, and 8 p.m. on the 31st. I went back to read the patch article and spoke with Anthony on that. He says that you have not notified him of that yet. But upon my question of reconsidering that 7 p.m., and 8 p.m. on the 28th, 29th, and 30th, I think that it was put out publicly by the township and was put out on the patch this same time last year.
I looked back yesterday because we had a couple inquiries, and we didn't do a resolution last year because we went with the resolution from 2013. I had Michelle getting that because I pulled it yesterday. I believe it was changed to 8:30 when a couple of kids came before council a few years ago in 2013 and asked that it be extended to 8:30 because of parents getting home later from work But when I get the resolution, that adjusted the time for the 2 days prior to Halloween activities.
Okay. At this time last year, this time last year, it was announced in the patch, and it was put out by the township that it was 7 p.m., and 8 p.m.
Yeah, because I know council president didn't want to do a resolution last year because they didn't want to change anything. From the last time we addressed it, because they wanted to keep it that way. So the last one I have was from September 23rd of 2013 that states on October 29th, 30th, and 31st. Fire companies will sound at 8:15, and activities will begin on Halloween from 4 p.m. and terminate at 8:30 p.m.
Okay, and that is prior to what existed in 2018. In 2018,
18, we didn't do a resolution.
but the notification went out to the press via the patch was 7 p.m., 8 p.m. That is why I addressed council at that
That's
time.
what I'm saying, I'm not sure where
So,
Patch
and the
got
patch
their
is,
information.
has all their information right all the time, right?
They generally get their information right from the administration, so I would suspect that the administration was trying to be as accurate as they could when they handed the information off to the patch.
That's why I wanted to make sure where you had gotten it to see if.
As a matter of fact, when I went back to watch the video and speaking with council president at the time, he said that you would consider that and acknowledged that 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Acknowledged that as being in accordance with what the township had put out in information. I don't remember you passing a resolution, but I do remember if that's the information being put out, would the police be required to administer that particular curfew by the announcement? So I'm asking, before you put that information out this year, consider putting a little more trust into the youth of our township.
Right, and so we supplied that to the patch, is that all you're asking for?
Just make sure, well, a good number of people in the township find stuff out by way of either patch, social media, whatever the case may be.
Put it on our website.
Who's going to come looking for it? Put it out the way that everything else gets put out when good things happen, where pomp and circumstance needs to be put out. I think we probably are in agreement that we can do something with that. Last but not least, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Chief Harry Earl for not only a great service to our township, but being the quintessential gentleman and making our town proud for a lot of years. We saw that he was announcing his retirement. Chief Harry Earl has treated me with nothing but respect, and along with most of the brass of the Gloucester Township Police Department. I'd like to wish him well and his family well on his future endeavors and thank him dearly for his service. And by the same token, I wish to congratulate Dave Harkins as he moves up and has a big set of shoes to fill. And we all know that Dave Harkins will do an outstanding job, as well as Chief Earl, and thank them both along with the whole police department for
Thank you, Rick.
their
I'll pass
service.
that on to Chief.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Anyone else? Oh,
Good evening again, council. I just want to make a couple of comments in regards to some of the individuals who came before me. Just in a generality, what makes a representative democracy incredibly special as a form of government is that citizens, those who you represent, can voice their suspicion, or another way of putting it is audit the organization that is overseeing their representation. So it's important that we properly answer the questions, and I think strong explanations to these questions go much further than aggression or no answers to the questions. I want to follow up on the council meeting from 8/26 of this year, where I had recommended several roads, county roads, for resurfacing, specifically Blenheim Aerial, Lakeland, and Alamanesson Road. I was wondering if council was able to reach out to their counterparts at the county to make those recommendations.
Tom, I know Dave had mentioned about Almanesson Road. Do you know, without not knowing, I could have asked him if I knew you were asking that, but
I don't know these, but I was
I
assuming.
know
he
there was
spoke
an
with,
answer to one of
the
those.
county
Do you know,
engineer.
Tony?
No, Jarvis Road was one of them.
Yeah, but I feel like Almanesson was also, but I don't, without, yeah, I can ask.
Well, I was hoping to give a thank you, but I will give the thank you to my neighbors and some citizens of Gloucester Township who did end up reaching out. And last week or 2 weeks ago, Lakeland Road, which leads to some of the county buildings and was littered with potholes, was actually fully repaved. So some of the $30 million that you mentioned that goes to the county and our taxpayer money may actually be coming back to us, which is nice to see.
Can I just interrupt you 1 second? Are you saying we did not ask? I thought you were asking.
He alluded to, because we don't know, his neighbors did.
Yeah, I mean, just because we don't know if they were approved to be.
No, I know. I was saying I was.
Ask.
No, certainly. I hope you did. And if you did, I owe you a thank you for
Well, so yes,
making
it
the
does
recommendation.
not go to just your neighbors. I think we all do our due diligence to reach out to the county when we can. So you're welcome, but go ahead.
Well, they're confirmed as having reached out to the county.
For sharing
itself.
that.
Okay. In addition, and I hate to sound like a broken record here, but this continues in my neighborhood. I've mentioned the public-private collaboration when repaving roads. And the only reason I bring this up is because about 150 linear square foot worth of road was left unpaved on Lehigh Avenue between Davistown Road and Fairmont Avenue. It was completely surrounded by new pavement, but about 150 linear square feet was left as the old pavement. Once again, just walking through the neighborhood, it strikes me as such an inefficient use to have the expertise, the manpower, the equipment out there, and to not have the road just completely done. Not to mention just looking silly, as Blackwood Estates is a mismatch of different pavements throughout the neighborhood. I invite any of you to come take a look. During the last council meeting, I believe a gentleman by the name of Brian Burns brought to our attention a particular, I guess, environmental issue and opportunity. I want to ask council if they had an opportunity to review the 2 sheets that he left and if there was any plan discussed for his request.
Roslyn Bridge,
Yes.
I was not at that meeting. Can someone, is that what we talked about at the workshop?
When he came forward, was surprised he wasn't aware, but the township has been in negotiation and contract with the owner. I call it Roslyn Bridge. He called it a different name, that's why I didn't respond to it. But township has been and has a contract, Ken can probably respond, probably better than I can, as to where we are with Green Acres, Ken, if you want Ken to respond.
Go ahead,
Well,
Ken.
we've been working on this property for a couple of years now, so we're getting, dealing with the DEP at Green Acres sometimes can be slow, but we finally got the survey done on the property, which is a requirement. So we've done a lot in town. We had the property appraised. We had a preliminary assessment done on the property, and the environmentalists found some areas of concern that have been inspected. We had the property surveyed. The survey came in, it's been submitted to the DEP, they reviewed it, they had one comment on the survey, so I expect that to be reconciled shortly. There's a few areas on the property that have some trash and debris that have to be picked up. Public Works, I believe, is going to be leaving that next week. Or, that's my hope that they're able to get out there next week and clean that out. And that's the last thing. Once property debris is removed, we can submit an invoice to the DEP for the funds to purchase the property. Alan's gonna purchase the property. It's not gonna cost anything for the taxpayers to buy this property. The 75% is going to be from the Green Acres Trust, and the other 25% is going to be from, I think it's the Bureau of Natural Resources. So the only expenses the town will have is 25% of our professional costs. It might be about, going to hold me to approximately $10,000. I think it's the total cost will have. We also had to have days off this day. Farmer had the federal reports on. So we're getting real close, but
Fantastic.
it is a process.
No.
And I've been working with Mr. Burns for a long time.
The report of title has already been transmitted by, I don't know who the title company is, offhand, but it's already been transmitted out to Brandon's office, that's the attorney that's representing the seller, Baron Brennan. We've already communicated with them with the survey and all the reports that Ken just indicated. I think we gave them a projected, in dealing with Green Acres, the whole contract is contingent upon Green Acres funding. I think we told them a projected 90 days for closing. They're reviewing the report of title and addressing the issues that's been presented. It's been in the works for a long time, back and forth. The contract's been sitting there without a closing date because it all hinged on Green Acres.
But it sounds like we're getting extremely close to closing the deal.
When the gentleman was here, that was already in process.
Okay.
When I spoke to Council President after the meeting, the indication was we thought the gentleman was aware of it. I didn't recognize it as to the name he referred to it. I recognize it as Roslyn Bridge.
Oh, fantastic. I appreciate the thorough explanation, and I think it's a great cause, certainly something worth doing. It seemed like a slam dunk when I reviewed it. So thank you all. Hope you have a great night.
Thank you. Anyone else? Sam?
Sam Sweet from Muriel. My first question, the RFQs that go out, if they did, those are for over $40,000, if I remember correctly?
No, because these would be, and Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, anything over 17.5 for professional, that would have to go out as an RFQ.
So is it 17.5 and between 17.5 and 40,000?
No, the acquisition of equipment or purchase of items that is in a non-professional engagement would be 2 quotes after $6,000 and bids after $40,000.
Okay, and
Pay to play legislation is 17.5.
is 17.5, and then if I'm remembering, I'm going from memory, they can't, if they're in that range, 17.5 to 40K, they can't give donations, correct?
Well, we asked for a contract with all to supply their information, but you gotta remember, we go out of an open public process. So that's an exemption under pay to play. That was our referendum years ago, the ordinance that the taxpayers approved, that we, regardless of the exception under the open public bidding process with professional contracts, you don't have to go, but if you don't, then they're prohibited. But if you go out for public bidding, then it's exempt from that pay.
If it's exempt, public bidding over 40K, but if
If it's 17.5 or above.
17.5 or above, so if I think with the example I used back then was a tree salesman or a tree cutter. If a tree cutter is doing over 20 grand, he can contribute to.
Well, we're talking about professional service contracts. That's basically the target of pay to play, professional engineering, attorneys, insurance, and those kind of things.
And then if they're over 17.5, they're exempt.
They're over 17.5, you come under pay to play. But there's a pay to play exemption if you go out for public bidding. So we go out for public bidding for all contracts.
So for lawyers doing, I'm not saying Remington Vernick, they're exempt because they're over 17.5. That's personal services. But it goes out for public bid because of, and as long as it goes out for open public bid, then it's okay. But if it was just an RFQ, then that's not an open, is an RFQ considered an open public bid? It is? Okay, all right.
All of them are, as the business administrator indicated earlier, when they all come in at that period of time, then it's a group of us to go through them.
All right, just wanted clarification. Going back to the Halloween, I know I was confused with, I think Ray was asking not to have a curfew and to trust our youth. Is that,
That's how I felt the question was.
yeah, is that something you guys would consider on that, or is that?
I don't feel we need to consider it, but I'll talk to the president and those that need to be talked to. I don't know if that's something that comes through the police or, but it's a discussion I can bring up with Orlando.
I mean, it depends on the day you catch me. I could go either way, but you know, a lot of the youth say that we don't trust them, and then this will be an opportunity to say, hey, we are trusting you.
Most youth I know didn't even know we had a curfew, so.
Well, that's you know,
So it could go either way.
yeah. I'm just asking
Yeah.
if that does that fall into the police, the curfew,
People that
or?
know that there's a curfew are probably not the ones that need to, are out there causing trouble, so. Go ahead.
Vice President, hi. Just from our standpoint, significant decreases in mischief night activities throughout my career. Very light. In fact, we used to have to bring in extra patrols and whatnot. Within, I would say, the last 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer, significantly reduced. We typically bring in more officers on Halloween for community activities and to be seen and visible as a preventative. So we can certainly discuss, and you know, I don't see any. We're not opposed to any curfew. We'll follow whatever council decides to go with.
Thank you.
All right, and my last question is, the housing authority. They provide housing for seniors, correct? Reduced housing for seniors? Do they get grants? How do they get their money?
I'm not overly familiar with their process, but just because of conversations that we've had recently on COA fundings and the obligation of the township with market to affordable, part of that issue that our settlement agreement fair share plan involves the housing authority's participation. So I know the housing authority is moving in that direction, and there's some meetings that are being scheduled. We've had some meetings recently, myself with our professionals in our fair share hearing that's coming up in January. So the housing authority is participating with the market to affordable program, which deals with COA dollars. So they are involved in that besides senior housing. How do they get their money currently? It all centers around the investors with the 75 units and the tax credits that they receive and rents they receive. They get a portion of that. And that's my understanding of how the housing authority operates. That's really on the surface, but you should speak to a housing authority member.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is it's come to my attention that a business that does business with the housing authority is being replaced, and they were told because the housing authority didn't have any money, and it was the IT services. And apparently Gloucester Township is now going to be sharing services, their IT services, with the housing authority.
I think Tom's been in that conversation. Yeah. Cost savings to the housing authority, from my understanding. Tom?
Yes, I did approach All Covered in a recent meeting and asked them to provide some services for the housing authority. They're providing that under our contract with them at no additional cost.
Okay.
So,
I was just concerned because it said the housing authority was out of money, and I'm like, I just wanted to know how they made their money. And
you're talking about a situation where they have 2 workstations down there, so it's not.
So there's no cost. Gloucester Township's going to pick up the cost of providing IT.
Well, they're not billing us additional monies for it. They're going to do it under the proposal that they submit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the second public portion. Polling of directors.
Mr. Garlemere?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Vardis?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Lechner?
Nothing to report.
Deputy Chief Harkins?
Just Chief Earl's final day, his final radio call will be October 30th. Let council know. he's having a party after that evening. And then we have our departmental change of command ceremony on November 4th. It'll be at 7 p.m. We'll make sure the clerk, Ms. Powers, gets that information to you. It'll be at the Dennis Flyer Theater at Camden County College, and it'll be open to the public and the entire community. So it should be a nice event. I just want to say I'm honored to serve the community, honored to always been honored and to take on this new role, and I look forward to continue to work with all of you and the community, great community here in Gloucester Township. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chava? Mr. Hutchison?
Sorry, I forget your name. But you brought up a point that it is, I can't paraphrase, or I can't say what you said. I think you were very eloquent in how you said it. Representative democracies and the importance of the citizenry to be able to come up to the microphone and address us, the governmental entity. I agree with that. However, you haven't been here that long. You've come to a handful, maybe 10 meetings, okay? So that's a small sample size. I've dealt with some of the individuals who come up here to that microphone, and they make statements which are not supported by the facts. And they couch their words in such a way as suspicious. Yet the allegation is saying it's illegal. So I'm going to attempt to vet that statement. Are you telling us something was illegal? And if so, go report it. But you won't. You won't do that. Do it. Now, if you want me to sit up here and simply listen and not respond, you got the wrong guy. I'm going to come back at you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Mr. Owens?
Thanks for coming out. I want to congratulate Lieutenant Capana and Sergeant Schultz on their promotions. Chief Earl, congratulate him, even though he's not here, on his 33 years of service to this community. And congratulations to Deputy Chief Harkins for soon to be filling those shoes on November 4th. I know you'll do a great job. We all respect you. The community respects you. So we look forward to working with you even more when the time comes. Some quick news. Gloucester Township, we received the Community Redevelopment Award from the Southern New Jersey Development Council on October 2nd. And that award was given to the township based on the successful development of the Premium Outlets and Entertainment Center. That was the largest economic development project in the history of the community. And it provided for almost 1,000 full-time and part-time jobs, and has been a catalyst for growth and redevelopment throughout our area. On Saturday, October 26th, the Gloucester Township Food and Craft Beer Festival will be back in downtown Blackwood. Right now, it seems like we have over 25 food trucks that will be there, as well as beer and a wine garden and live entertainment. It will be in the library parking lot behind Main Stage Academy Hall between 2 and 7. So I hope to see everyone out there. And Mr. Vice President, I think that our rabies clinic also Saturday, October 19th. There is a free rabies clinic. For dogs between 9 a.m. and 10:30, and cats between 10:30 and 11 a.m. at the senior building adjacent to the municipal building. It is for free, but make sure your dogs and cats are registered and licensed with the town in order for that to happen. I think that's it. That's it for me.
Thanks, Scott.
Mr. Renier?
You left out trunk or treat, October 25th, 2019.
I left it for you.
Thank you. Congratulations to Lieutenant Capana and Sergeant Schultz, well deserved. And best of luck to Chief Harry Earl in his retirement. And best of luck to Deputy Chief Dave Harkins. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Strada?
Congratulations to Lieutenant Capana and to Sergeant Schultz, and Deputy Chief Harkins, I know, we'll see you before the next, by the next meeting. So,
Thank you.
but congratulations, and we'll talk again. Thank you all for coming out, and have a good evening. Meeting adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
Aye.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, for the truck. Yeah.
Good job, Trace.
Thank you.
We did using cars and vehicles, but these things are, you can block off anything anyway.